So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. What I want to do is give an overview of what I've been doing to actually make money over the last, say, 2.5 years. And then I want to tell you about the training program that we're offering and tell you how much it cost. So for the last, I would say 2 years, myself and a small team, a couple of traders, we've been buying and selling Bitcoin. So essentially it's really easy. All we do is we buy Bitcoin at spot and we sell the Bitcoin at about 5% above spot. Now those transactions vary depending on the type of transaction it is, but essentially we're making a 5% profit on every single transaction that happens. So if you're able to turn over, say, $10,000 a day, that would be about $500 a day. Today we do about a little over $60,000 a day. Much of last year we actually were doing above $100,000 a day in volume and turned that over. We started on local Bitcoins, but most of the volume that we do now, probably 98% of it, is done outside of local Bitcoins or Paxful or one of those websites. So essentially we're just buying and selling. Now it's a real simple business model, however, it's not that simple to execute. So there's several challenges that go along with it. So number one is scammers. Right now in the industry, even though it's less than 1%, I say the transactions, most transactions are good, there are scammers out there, and you don't want to get hit by one of the scammers. I think over the last couple of years, I've probably lost about $100,000 to scammers. So I've paid my tuition to learn all of the scams that are out there and also to figure out how to protect ourselves from them. So we've gotten so good at protecting ourselves, we don't get hit by scammers anymore. Matter of fact, I'll show you in our training a foolproof way to stop yourself from ever getting hit by a scammer or getting money taken. The other thing that's a problem is banking relationships. So believe it or not, banks are allergic to Bitcoin. And so you don't want to go about this the wrong way, because you'll end up getting your bank account shut down, and that'll also put you out of business. In fact, I woke up one morning and saw this bank statement online at Bank of America. 3 of my accounts were negative over $880,000 because Bank of America found out that I was dealing with Bitcoin. So when you're dealing with banks, you need to know how to manage those banking relationships and set up those accounts properly to begin with, so that as you go through this process, you can keep those bank accounts open. So in the training, I teach you how to do that. Regulatory requirements is a big issue. So most money service businesses need to be registered with FinCEN as a money service business, and I have a company that's registered with FinCEN. You'll also need an anti-money laundering policy and procedures. You'll also need to know the KYC or know your customer rules, so that you know how to comply with the rules. Now, I'm going to advise you to stay away from being a money service business because it's actually more problematic than it is helpful. And you don't need to be a registered money service business to do what it is that we're doing. But you'll at least be familiar with all the rules and the regulations. The other issue, it's not really an issue, but one of the most important things that you need is suppliers. Where are you going to buy Bitcoin every day at spot and be able to do large volume every single day? So in the training, I actually reveal our suppliers to you, so you get familiar with. I'll give you several suppliers outside the United States and inside the United States. The ones outside the United States are somewhat difficult because you're wiring money, large amounts of money outside the United States every single day, and that can be very problematic. So I give you the very best supplier that'll help you maintain good banking relationships. We'll give you all the volume that you need, that you'll be able to buy every day, and you'll be able to buy at spot every day. The last thing is probably the ability to be able to take customers and convert them into customers for life. Get them so that they're dealing directly with you. They just come and they mail you cash, or they deposit money directly into your bank account and have them come back to you over and over and over again. Like I said, most of our business is done direct. So I'm teaching all of these things in a training course. Now, nowhere else can you receive this information. There is no other professional trader like myself that's out there teaching this information. And the reason is because they don't want to create a bunch of competition for themselves, right? So as a result, I don't want to overload the market with a bunch of new professional traders. So I'm only training 10 additional people. So I'm training 10 additional people, and the way that's being done is on Google Hangouts online. What we'll do is we'll have about 6 to 8 one-hour sessions in which we'll actually cover all of the fundamentals from A to Z as it relates to Bitcoin trading. The first training session is going to talk about choosing your name, setting up your LLC, getting registered with your state, getting your bank accounts open, getting you set up with suppliers. The second training session is going to go deep into the actual trading process. We're going to cover all the scams. We're going to give you the tools that you need in order to be able to protect yourself from scams. Just to give you an example, one of the things that we do when someone enters into a trade is we have them text us their username. And when you text your username to us and we provide the account information to you, we actually capture your phone number. We take that phone number and we use a database to do a background check on you, to find out who you are, to find out who your parents are, your family, your friends. And then we know all about you before you even go make a deposit into our account. That's one of the tools that we use. So in the second training session, we'll cover all of the scams. We'll give you all the tools that you need so you can begin trading by that second training session. Now, after that's completed, I believe that the best way to learn is actually to do. And so when it comes to this process, I'm going to give you a task in training session 1 and training session 2 and everyone thereafter that you're going to go off and you're going to actually implement and begin doing. Because I want you by the second or third session to actually be trading Bitcoin and buying and selling Bitcoin. Now, if you don't have access to capital, in the training session, I actually teach you how to get access to capital. When I started this, I didn't have any money whatsoever. Matter of fact, I started out with zero, and within the first few days, I raised $10,000, and then that's how we launched our business. After about 2 or 3 months, after I gained some confidence that the business model works, that it's profitable, which I assure you that it is, we actually went out and raised an additional $40,000 and brought that money in and continued to grow the business from there. So if you need access to capital, I'll show you 2 very effective ways of getting the capital that you need. The last thing was the fact that I'm going to be your personal coach. So not only are you going to get all the sessions, but you're going to have unlimited access to me. You're going to be able to call me. Matter of fact, if this video is not enough evidence to you that this training is legitimate and that you're able to accomplish what I claim that you're able to accomplish, give me a call. Go to my schedule, book an appointment on my calendar, and you'll be able to, I'll give you a call and I'll speak to you directly, and I can answer any questions that you may have. And you're going to have that kind of access to me via text or via phone during the training and after the training. So as you encounter things with banks, a bank may call you for something, or you might have a scammer or someone that's sketchy that's doing something, you're not sure what they're doing, you can have me take a second look at it. So I'm there to assist you to actually ensure that you're successful. So I want you to be successful. And I anticipate that if you do this well, by the time we're done with the training, you should be making easily $1,000 a day. Now that depends on how much money that you're trading, but I want everyone in the training class to be making about $1,000 a day. Obviously you can make more than that. You can make less than that if you choose. That's completely up to you. The total cost of training is 14 Bitcoin. It's 14 BTC. Now I've created an installment program that's going to enable you to not only access the training, but also pay for most of the training out of the profits that you're making after it's completed. So the way I've done it is this. It's 2 Bitcoin to reserve your spot. Now remember, there's only 10 spots in the training class. So 2 Bitcoin reserves your spot, gets you on that roll. And that 2 Bitcoin is not refundable. So you're in the class when you pay the 2 Bitcoin. Now, by the time training begins, it's going to be different depending on when you watch this video, but by the time the training begins, it's going to be additional 4 Bitcoin or 4 BTC. So that's a total of 6 Bitcoin to actually get in the training. Once the training begins, you're going to begin making money probably within the first week, at least by the second week, definitely by the third and fourth week. You should be, after the first month is gone, you should be fully profitable in executing the strategies that I'm going to teach you about. So 1 month after training begins, 1 Bitcoin is due. Okay, 1 month after training begins, 1 Bitcoin is due. And 1 Bitcoin every single week for 8 consecutive weeks. And that's how you complete paying for the rest of the training. So that way it makes it easy for you. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm incentivized with you. I want you to be successful, because by you being successful, we get paid. One of the questions I get asked is, why are you doing this? Aren't you making plenty of money just trading yourself? Why don't you just do that? Why do you want other people that are competing with you? Well, the answer to that question is real simple. So By training 10 people, I'm probably going to make about $85,000, right? Or whatever the price of Bitcoin is at the time. So there's a financial incentive, obviously. The other incentive is I actually enjoy training and coaching much more than I do trading. So I'm doing something that I enjoy. Plus, we are in a market that is growing. Every single day, we get brand new customers every single day that come into this marketplace. People that have never bought Bitcoin before are contacting us every single day. This is a growing market. As people develop use cases for using Bitcoin, as people learn about Bitcoin, more and more people are wanting to gain access to it. And so there is plenty of room for a lot more traders to be able to provide that access. Now that demand for Bitcoin is going to get filled somewhere, right? It's going to get filled by somebody. It might as well be with people that I know, people that I've mentored, people that I coach and have trained into this business, so that I have now developed relationships and friendships, such as yourself, that in the future, as we work together to build your business and my business, we're going to be able to utilize each other in various ways. Sometimes we spot Bitcoin back and forth to each other. Sometimes we discover a new scam or a scammer that might be out there, and we alert each other. So I found it to be very helpful to have several other professional traders that I'm associated with, and why not have them associated with me? So all around, I think it's a win for me, it's a win for you, and it meets a growing demand. So to get started and to join this training, what you need to do is send me an email to the email address that's on the screen and tell me that you want into the training. Join us. This is going to be a skill that you're going to use forever. Email me at the email address here, and I look forward to seeing you.